What we have done, I think we've, at the beginning of our sitting at the board and after the election of 2018, our program and during the campaign for the election for 2018 was particularly focused on correction of the path of the Chamber of Commerce that basically concentrated on the restructuring of the Chamber of Commerce, and at the same time we wanted the Chamber of Commerce truly becomes the voice of the business community before the government and the Chamber and the Shura Council and the Parliament. As it is, it represents by law, the Chamber of Commerce is the representative of the business community. Committee structures, we had almost 24 committees. We reduced them as per the international standards to 10 committees representing different sectors, becoming a little bit more bold and raising issues that affects the economy of the country and the interests of the business community. Over and above, we wanted to strengthen the research and study department that can be a good tool for us to use for raising issues that benefits the business community and the economy. For example, if the government decide to put, raise fees for certain activities, or CRs or LMRAs and all this, we normally do a study and benchmark and surveys, look at the opinions of the people, listen to them, and at the same, with the proper benchmarking, we can approach the government with a proper discussion, which is fair to the benefit of the economy. We wanted to strengthen the media, the medium of communication between us and our members, and at the same time send the message through media regarding our activities to the public also, as well as the government. The definition of SME in Bahrain today, 95% of the community are SMEs. Now, the government of Bahrain, the Chamber of Commerce is one of the few Chamber of Commerces in the MENA region that's democratically elected by the business community. Each and everyone has a voice to come and select their representative there in the board of directors. Now, if you go back in the different years of board of directors, the structure is always the same. The people and the names are almost similar, of the same caliber, and SMEs are also represented in the board of directors. Moreover, the committees themselves, 95% of the sectorial committees, the 10 sectorial committees, the board members there on those committees are SMEs. I want to name one who is not. In the Chamber of Commerce, in the last round, we had more than 5-6 SME board members. Same thing with our, with the previous ones. But you see, the names are all, people are also argue about, for example, the voting weightages changed this time, and it's unfair for the SMEs, they are belittled and all that stuff. But I go back to the different last around 29th, around 29th and 28th, and 27th and 26th. I was in the board of directors with Assam Fakhro's chairmanship in 2 years. The representative SMEs are also on the board. The weightage of the votes is the same. Was even worse towards the SMEs. Now it's not towards the SMEs, but it's more fair, you could say. But still, the result is the same. You know, so it is the choice of the business community, right? If they are 95%, they can choose who they want to be in the chair on the board of directors, correct? So where is the elitists there? I mean, the one next to it for democratically elected Chamber of Commerce is Kuwait, which they represent only, you know, they have 50% election for 50% of the board. The last 4 years, we've done so much things. You know, I mean, we've transformed as I said, the research and study department. We've been the Chamber of Commerce voice is more respected by government and as well as the leadership and the parliament. They take our opinion for anything that's concerns the economy and issues. No legislation, no rule that takes place in ministries. They take our opinion first, which is, I think, a fresh thing, fresh air. Now, what we have done in this last 4 years also, you know, been hit very hard by the pandemic. We were involved in the stimulus plans for the government for protecting the economy and the sustainability of the business. You know, we worked closely with the government for the stimulus plan that we see. At the same time, we were in the committee for the liquidity fund that was launched by the Crown Prince to manage the cash flows for business communities, specifically SMEs. We managed to also bring up put up a study called The Way Forward. We know that the aftermath of the pandemic, the economy has to be reviewed, and especially with the challenges regionally, with Saudi Arabia's opening up in a tremendous way, it is very difficult to market Bahrain as gateway to the Gulf. So we have to think out of the box on how we see Bahrain in the next 20, 30 years. And we have put up 15 recommendations and concentration on sustainable economy and focusing on specific sectors that might help Bahrain economy in the next 20 years. For example, tourism, education tourism, the medical tourism, as well as privatization of a lot of government services to private sector transfer, and launching of IPO companies, concentrating on ICTs, and so on and so forth. So that has created also some of these recommendations have been taken that structured basically the recovery plan for Bahrain, the post-pandemic period, which was announced, I think, a few months back. The government has a lot of burden on their shoulders. They have deficits, they have a lot of issues regarding sustainability of their services and all this. And that's creating pressure on introducing charges, taxations, and others. We try to resist that because we feel that is slows down the pace of growth in the economy and business community, weakens them and creates their competitiveness also, I mean, negatively. So we try to fight for that. And if there is any charges, we try to make it fair rather than goes to the, an unfair level. So this is where we come in. In November 2019, we had made a conference called the Arab Investments Conference, if you remember. I don't know if you were in Bahrain or not. And the theme of that is the theme and motto and the slogan and the subject of the conference is the fourth industrial revolution. And that was 3 months before the pandemic. And we have warned and directed, and we brought speakers and lecturers from the United States and Europe, and we talk about AI technology, the future of doing business, and we talked about emerging technologies and the way to do business, online shopping, and AI, and so on and so forth. And the subject, the list goes on. And whatever was said in that conference, we were talking to our business community that they have to try and change the way they do business because the train is coming very fast on this. And it can be challenging. Those that will stay as they are, business as normal, they will lose their competitiveness. And they have to ride the wave of this new trend. And what happened, and we were expecting this in the next 10 years, 15 years to take place, slow transition. But the pandemic speeded up everything. If you notice, for example, AI, electronics, internet shopping has taken a toll and a grip in the business, the way people do business because of the pandemic. Online shopping, restaurant operations, deliveries, talabat, and all that stuff, benefits. We notice electronic cash transaction has grown up, jumped to about 450% within the 2 years. So things, the way it's changed. I mean, meetings is being done through Zooms and others, right? And there are, the way that we did business during the pandemic, I think a lot of it will continue to do so permanently. And I think all countries are looking at how they restructure their economy, how they jump-start it again to make it, well, it's going to be difficult, but I am confident with the leadership that's taking, in Bahrain, and with their open mind policy and they welcome ideas, and the youth businessmen, entrepreneurs.
You are very optimistic about it.
I'm very optimistic that Bahrain will always be able to overcome, and they are very creative. Well, I think it's my message to them is that basically you have to be honest, and you have to, when you do any business, you have to be the best at it, and you have to be dedicated to it, and you have to be innovator in it. Don't become follower. You always take the lead in that. And I think the challenge is how to do business. You have to always make sure that you are ready to change. Business is not solid. very fluid. So business organizations restructure on a continuous basis. So always be on the alert. The challenges are there, but the opportunities are even bigger.